Many non-Puerto Rican Americans don't know that Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, and not a state for several reasons tied to education, media representation, political discourse, and systemic neglect. Here's a breakdown of why so many Americans think Puerto Rico is a state. Number 1. Poor civic education. U.S. schools often teach little to nothing about the territories, Puerto Rico, Guam, U.S. Virgin Islands, etc. Civics and history classes rarely cover U.S. imperial expansion or the aftermath of the Spanish-American War when Puerto Rico was annexed. Many Americans grow up without ever learning the difference between a state and a territory. Number 2. Lack of media coverage. National media almost always ignores Puerto Rico unless there's a major crisis like Hurricane Maria. And when it does cover Puerto Rico, it often fails to explain the island's political status clearly. Some media even call Puerto Rico a state out of ignorance or assumption, which reinforces the confusion. Number 3. Assumption of full integration. Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens by birth. They use U.S. dollars, carry U.S. passports, and serve in the U.S. military. This makes many Americans assume Puerto Rico must be a state because they associate citizenship with statehood. The average American doesn't realize it's possible to be a U.S. citizen and still have second-class rights under territorial status, no federal voting representation, limited federal benefits, etc. Number 4. Cultural and racial bias. Puerto Ricans are often seen as foreign due to their Spanish language and Caribbean culture. Some Americans incorrectly assume that anything culturally different from the mainland must be from another country. This disconnect reinforces the idea that Puerto Rico is not part of the U.S., or that it must be a state if it's in the U.S. Number 5. Government doesn't talk about it. Congress and presidents rarely mention Puerto Rico unless there's political pressure. There's no national debate on the island's status and little effort from Washington to educate the public. The silence allows misinformation or ignorance to grow unchecked. And number 6. Confusing terms. Words like Commonwealth and territory don't mean much to the average American. Many people assume Commonwealth and Summer State because Kentucky, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania, and Virginia also call themselves Commonwealths. There's no clear public messaging that Puerto Rico is a colony in all but name. Bottom line, the confusion about Puerto Rico stems from systemic neglect, educational failure, and a media culture that overlooks U.S. colonialism. Until Puerto Rico's status becomes a national conversation, many Americans will continue living in the dark. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, like and share to support our channel. Puerto Rico, open your eyes. See you soon.